Well, hey there, folks. Welcome to Middleburgh. This is a recent map released by NitroDad Modding. It is a fantastic map. If you hadn't checked it out yet, be sure to do so. This is PC only, so if you are interested in it, I'll leave a link to it in the description of the video below. But this is the first episode of a new Let's Play series. Not really going to be storyline based. It is just going to be mostly just Let's Play. Me having a little bit of fun. I have a couple things I want to try and get accomplished on this playthrough here. And we'll talk about those here in just a minute. And if you noticed, I actually just backed up into the shed here with the mirrors on this pickup. That was actually quite surprising. Let's hop out of the truck there. I got a Dodge Ram 350. In yellow. So I have added a few little things around the map. Well, around the starting area here. Changed some equipment out and made a few little adjustments. You notice this shed here, I put that in. Changed up the driveway just a bit. Repainted it and added some grass in. So starting equipment here, we have this Ford and a matching color coordinated trailer you see over there. We do have a nice little bush hog here behind it. I did keep the combine that was provided, but I swapped out the cultivator for this disc here, which actually acts as a plow. And then we have this small little sprayer here, small little John Deere sprayer. And you notice all of the equipment is dirty. So I have dirtied it up just to make it look used. And that is, oh, we got over here, we have a planter, John Deere planter. Got that there. And we have this mixer here, or grinder mixer. And we're going to talk about that here soon, not in this episode, but I have made a few little edits to the map, which is going to be kind of interesting. And then over here in this barn, we got us a little New Holland skid steer. So to set this up, kind of the story behind this piece of property, I like to have a story and then some goals to go through on all of my playthroughs. So the fellow that owned it had to get out of town really quick. He had this farm going. So you see there are already chickens here in the chicken pen. They do have a little bit of feed there. And then over in the cow pen, let's just cut through behind the woods here. We do have a few cows. There's one over there. They do have a little bit of food, but not a whole lot. So what I anticipate doing on this playthrough is we're going to work this farm a little bit. This is the original farm that you get when you start out the map, if you start a new farmer mode. So I'm starting here, but I plan on moving. I want to move across the map over to the big farm across the map that has the orchard, the winery. The other thing I've done is reduce the cost of the land of this starting farm. So let's hop in the map here real quick, and you see this farm here is normally about $1.4 million, and I've reduced that, cut it almost in half. You see it's valued at just under $700,000. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to be able to just sell this piece of property right off and be able to buy this one, which is where I want to eventually move. So I reduced the price of the land to give me a challenge, give me something to work for. And so here we are. I did not add too much more as for starting equipment. So it is fairly similar to what you would get in new farmer mode, with just a few different changes and maybe one or two extra pieces. So What I want to do on this playthrough is we're going to get this farm going here. Now this fellow that left here, he was in the moonshine business. So there is a still on the property. And so he was a moonshiner. And so we're going to continue on with his efforts. He had planted a couple fields here in corn. So lucky for us, they are ready to harvest. So that is what we're going to start on today. And try and get some of it harvested. Also, because he left out of town so quickly, he left about 800 liters of corn in the silo. So I kind of have a little bit of a head start on the production. So I do want to get the moonshine still up and going. And my plan is eventually to end up buying the production facility that also produces moonshine, beer, and wine. Because once I move over to the other farm, I want to grow some grapes and try and make some wine. So this playthrough will be kind of focused on the production of moonshine, beer, and wine. Much alcohol. So I thought that would be an interesting challenge to see how that production actually, how it actually makes profits, and see how long it may take me to be able to move over to the larger and more open and modern farm. The other thing I want to do, this is the other part of my challenge to myself, is the default animal pens that are on the farm. I have to use them. So like on this farm we have chickens and cows, so we're going to have chickens and cows. And when we move over to the next farm, I believe it has everything, every animal, so we'll have to get some of each type of animal and make sure we keep them up and going on the farm. So that is going to be a challenge. That in itself is going to be quite a bit of work. My plan is to kind of go through each of these episodes with not a whole lot of editing. I want to just do it kind of like a straight playthrough. Editing does take some extra effort and time, so I want to minimize that just as much as possible. I'm going to try to get these episodes out a little bit quicker, so that I won't have to spend so much time on the back end doing a whole bunch of editing. So there may be some slip-ups in what I say. Just excuse that. I just want to try to get through it as much as I can without too much editing. So I think it should be a fun little series here. Not going to set too many other rules. You see here I am at $100,000, and let me go ahead and bump up the time here a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much about the time, but we are starting with $100,000. And let me just make sure, I don't think we have a loan. Yeah, no loan. So that's what we have. We have this property, 100 grand, a little bit of equipment, a few animals, and a little bit of corn already in the silo. I am on normal economy. I don't want to make this a survival hard series. It is supposed to be fun, and so I'm not going to make it too hard on myself. But I do have some equipment that gives me some opportunity to do a little bit of upgrading. And the other thing too is the fields on this map, they're not real big. As you can see here, this field, it's not big. So the equipment I'm going to use is going to be on the small to medium size. Once we move over to the other farm, there are some fields that are a little bit more open, so there may be some possibility to do some combining of fields, but I don't know that I'll do that at this point. Obviously everything is subject to change as we go through this series and see how things progress. I may end up taking an entirely different direction halfway through, who knows. But thought this would be a good opportunity to focus on the smaller end of things. Don't get too crazy. We're not going to have any big buds or quad tracks on this series. So it's going to be the smaller stuff, even if I have to run a couple of them. So I do like that style of gameplay. So that's what I intend to do. The other thing that I'm going to do as part of this series is when I go to the shop and buy supplies, say for instance I go up there and buy a couple big bags or even a new piece of equipment that needs to be loaded on a trailer, I'm going to use super strength, and I'm probably going to show that. Just want to let you know. The reason being is if you were to take a trailer up to a shop, they're going to load it for you, more than likely. You're going to have some guy on a forklift, telehandler, something like that, loading up the equipment on your trailer or loading the pallets on your trailer. So a lot of times I have staged equipment such as a pallet fork or something like that at the shop to simulate that, but then I got to thinking, well, I wouldn't be doing it anyway. It would be somebody from the shop. So that's how I'm going to handle getting supplies at the shop on this series, is just use super strength, throw them on the truck or throw them on the trailer, and then carry on. So like I said, this is not going to be a super realistic. I will try to play semi-realistic, but there may be some things to do that just make things a little easier, because I do want to progress through the series and get over to the other farm. But this farm here is just the starter farm, even though it's quite large. The fields aren't very large, but the piece of property is. So we'll be able to roll through here maybe a couple seasons. I don't know. I do have seasons on, 1-day seasons. So I don't know how long it's going to take to get over to the new property, but it should be quite interesting. I'm going to go ahead and unhook this bush hog here. I don't need it yet. Now I am going to need it. I do need to get some grass cut and either some silage or hay made up to feed the cows. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and I'm going to try to play this on 5 speed. We'll see how that goes. May end up having to buy some bales for the cow right offhand. So we got it on 5 speed. That way we can make sure we're getting plenty of productions. And this is a problem I had with this trailer here. On this Ford, it wants to hook up down at the bottom, which is really low. You see it lifts the trailer up there, or it lifts the tractor up. So let me get the drawbar hooked up. I bought this drawbar, and it kind of solves the problem. There we go. There. Now it is lifted up in line with the tongue of the axle or attachment there for the trailer, and it pulls much better. So we're going to run on around here and get this combine unloaded and see how much it fills up this trailer. I'm not real sure how much this trailer holds. I cannot remember. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the equipment I have here. in my inventory is this is the tractor I have. It is the 7810 with 136 horsepower. We do have the harvester that comes with it. Let's see, that trailer holds about 17.5 thousand liters. So that's pretty good. This is the plow I have. It's only 3.9 meters wide, so it's going to take a little bit of time to do some cultivating or plowing. And the planter I have is 6 meters wide. I have not used this planter yet, so I'm really excited about giving that a shot. And of course, the sprayer we have here is only 9 meters, so not very big. Definitely something we'll upgrade in the future. And then the mower here is only 3.4 meters. Not terrible, but it is going to take some time. Now, the grinder I do have here, this is something I'm going to use to do the work for the moonshine. You have to have cracked corn or cracked barley. If we take a look at the productions menu here, since we do have the still on the property, it takes cracked corn for corn whiskey or cracked barley, or rolled barley for the just a regular whiskey. So you can get that from a production facility in town. That production facility has to be bought, and then of course you have to haul your grain down and get it processed. So what I've done is I modified that grinder to accept corn and barley and grind it into cracked corn and cracked barley. And instead of the cracked corn and cracked barley being placed into pallets, I've added it as a fill type so that I can empty it into trailers and the silo. So that's going to let me be able to get that going here on the farm, not have to buy the production plant. Now I will have to make it in smaller batches. I think that grinder only holds 4,000 liters, and getting it in and out of it is going to be a little bit more challenging. At some point, I may end up getting the mill bought in town so I can do larger quantities. But for now, I'm going to go with that grinder, see how that works out. Now, I have not tested any large batches. I did test it to see if it would output as needed, and it does. So how long it takes to do a whole batch and how much of a pain it ends up being, we'll see. But it gives me a chance to start with the grinding right offhand. And as a matter of fact, we have corn already in the silo, but we're making corn or picking corn here in the field. And so it should work out really well. Now, I don't have any barley, so I am just going to focus on the corn whiskey for now. At some point, I may try some barley whiskey. So I'm just running around the field here. I'm not going up and down yet, just doing some laps around the field. You notice there are hills around the field and trees, so I'm just trying to get a little bit of a buffer here just so I can hire a worker at some point. Once I take the trailer down to empty, we'll let a worker continue on. Slow go with this combine, but like I said, not in any hurry. It is going to be fun using some smaller equipment. Don't want the fields to get so large that it takes an entire episode to just do one task in the field. I want to keep this moving. The other thing, I do want to try and buy some used equipment off of the used store feature. So we are going to try to buy some different things. I'm not going to focus on any one brand particularly. I do want to try and at least start out with the Ford tractors or maybe some New Holland tractors. They don't get used very often. I just don't see very many series run with the Ford or New Holland stuff, which is very odd to me, but it seems that the John Deere and the Case stuff is more prevalent. So I'm going to lean toward those, but if something really good pops in that I can use, we'll just go with that. I want to try to save as much money as I can so that I can get moved over to the new farm just as quickly as possible. This combine does struggle quite a bit going up this hill here now that it has some weight in it. With the corn, it is barely moving. Barely moving. Let me just turn it around here. We're gonna send it across the field here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's moving along decent enough that way. It's just all uphill. Let me hop back over to the tractor here. I'm gonna wait for the combine to come out on the other side, and then we'll go ahead and get this unloaded. So I'm gonna take a few moments, let him get over here, and then we'll get unloaded and bring this over to the silo. Alright, got a full trailer load here, but one thing I'm noticing is this trailer is sliding around a little bit. I'm not sure why it's doing that. If you guys know or have had problems with this particular trailer, let me know. I've noticed that with several things. I think actually those combines, those John Deere combines like we have there in the field, I've used it before and noticed it would just kind of slide around, but this trailer is doing it too, and this tractor is actually having quite a bit of a time getting up that hill there with this load. I thought this trailer was going to work out. Hopefully it will. I don't want to do any upgrades or changes right out of the gate. But we're going to go ahead and get this unloaded into the silo. That actually unloads quite slowly. Let me stop that here. Do we have another option for unloading? Back, right, and left. Let's see here. Well, that is slightly faster. So we'll go with that there. So yeah, I was really excited when NitroDab released this map. I've enjoyed a lot of his maps, and if you have been with my channel for a while, you'll remember I did a little survival series back in FS19 on Georgetown, which was one of his maps. Really enjoyed that one. Unfortunately, that kind of come in towards the end of 19's lifespan, and so I had moved on to 22, had to wrap that up. Didn't get to play a whole lot on the map or as long as I wanted to. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and start this one early and to get going on it. I'm not sure how long I'll go on this map. I do have some goals. Kind of want to get those accomplished. But who knows? That's the great thing about some of his maps. There's so much to do, so many different productions, so things can change. You can go a different direction, Just a whole lot of opportunity. So let me, while I'm sitting here waiting on this combine to go, let me go ahead and check the used vehicle sale here. Well, I could use that for sure. A little big. That roller could be useful. Problem is I don't think I have the horsepower for that. I only have 136. That is close because that requires 140. But I could use a roller so I could roll the fields. And that actually would be really, really nice. That is a perfect size seeder for this map, but I don't have the funds, nor do I have the horsepower. That truck there could be interesting. Could use a semi truck on this playthrough, and then we got another tractor. Could also use a flatbed trailer. However, this is only used behind a tractor. Well, I have some time before those disappear. I may think about that roller. I may think about the roller and see if I want to go that route. Let me see what I have as far as options turned on for this playthrough. I do have let's see here. Yeah, we have seasons 1 day per month. We have crop destruction, plowing on. I do have the stones off. I just can't stand the stones. Weeds are on. We got normal dirt, and I do have the trailer fuel limit on. I'm going to play with that on this series, and then let's see. That is everything, I believe. Yep. And oh, I do have the maintenance and painting cost intervals and cost turned down to 50%. I think that's a little bit more appropriate. Let's see if I can catch this guy before he turns. Is he going to? Yeah, he's going to turn. Let me see how much he's got in there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stop him here and get the combine emptied out. So yeah, on this series we're going to be doing animals, going to do productions. I'm going to try to do grapes. I've done 0 with grapes since FS22 has released. So I imagine I will flounder and fail through that process, but it should be interesting. Should be fun. And who knows, I may just like it. I would like to use some of the new equipment from the Antonio Carrera pack, whatever it is. Let's see. Yeah, some of these little Antonio Carrero. Some of these small tractors might be interesting to use over in the grape orchard. So yeah, it'll be something different, some of the things I would normally do, and then some things are going to be completely different for me. Obviously, making moonshine is not something that I normally do, but we'll give it a shot. Alright, let's get him set up here. I'm going to release the worker to continue on there. And go ahead and get this field wrapped up. So I'll get this done, and then that's where I'll leave it until the next episode. Next episode, I'm going to pull out that grinder, see about going ahead and getting some cracked corn made, and we're going to go ahead and load up the steel so we can get that sucker running. I need to get it going to start making some money. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Looking forward to what's to come. Please be sure to click the thumbs up button, and if you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button. Feel free to share this with any of your friends or family, social media, whatever you'd like. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope each of you have a blessed day.